All right, Caspar, on the 2nd of November 2024, it's Saturday night. I have opened a bottle of burgundy and I was quite excited about it because this is a wine I've had in my portfolio for a very long time. Well, since we offered the 2005 vintage. So, yeah, that'll be 2007. So, really quite a long time. What's that, 17 years? What is it? 2005 Corton Grand Cru from Bonneau de Martray. Bonneau de Martray, of course, most famous for producing white wine, specifically Corton Charlemagne, the biggest landowners producing that Grand Cru white, but also much less known for this red, the red Corton. The whole estate sold a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, to Stan Kroenke, who owns, I think he owns Arsenal Football Club, American Brazilianaire anyway. Yeah, and I had thought about selling this wine, and I just thought recently, just get it out and drink it. I was quite intrigued by it. I'm not even sure I ever tasted it in the cellar. We used to sell the Corton Charlemagne. And I just bought a 6-pack of this, as I say, back in 2007. Still good, healthy red, but it's a deeply coloured wine. I mean, it's not opaque, but lots of colour, still very red. A bit of a sign of age at the rim, garnet, no undue age to it. Just 13%, by the way, on the label. It's quite reserved, but what it is beautifully refined. It's fresh, it's clear-cut aroma. There's no right breadth. There's an element of wet clay. It's a nice scent of wet clay about it. Lots of dark spices, almost peppery thing to smell. And the fruit is black cherry with a hint of bramble, but not that sort of bramble preserve that you get sometimes in some perhaps Rhone wines. This is just right blackberry. That wet earth is almost slightly got a nuttiness about it. Smells clean, smells interesting, smells really very delicious. Let's taste it. The wet clay thing is there. The structure starts quite close to the front, and it emerges into these really rocky limestone, fresh mineral tannins, which are not intrusive. They're not very dominant, but they emerge at the back and bind with something that's almost sort of walnut in flavour at the back end. It's a fresh wine. The palate's as well defined as the nose. Yeah, dark fruit, lovely density. I mean, there's no massive weight to it, but it's quite if I can call it this, a masculine wine, perhaps, if I can call it that, a claret for a burgundy for claret lovers, which I guess sort of describes some of the wines of Corton and perhaps some of the wines of Pommard as well. It's got a rooty earthiness. It's definitely looking down into the soil. It's got a hint of burnt gingerbread crust. and within really, really nice, fresh acidity that cleans the whole thing up. The acidity is yeah, it's integrated, but it's really makes the whole thing lively and invigorating. It's a long wine. It's it's not a flashy wine in any sense. It's really quite reserved and held within itself, and not shouting at all. On the nose. A hint of sort of iodine or ink. It's I like it. I like it's the fact that it's light. It doesn't shine bright, but it shines in a fascinating manner. It's and that lovely tannin, which is fully integrated at the beginning of the palate, albeit present, emerges in a sort of fan at the end of this, as I say, this sort of piquant, fresh, very clean, rocky limestone texture. It's a lovely thing. It's going to go very well with my supper, where I am going to have another glass. Lovely. Gosh, there we are. 2005, my first bottle out of my 6-bottle case. 2005 Corton Grand Cru from the Bonneau de Martray. What a nice thing. I'm very glad I decided to keep it and not sell it. It's lovely.